Now that we are done with our terrain model and with our cityscape, we can go back into AutoCAD and we can start looking at the design plans that would have been given to us from the client or the architects. Now, if you are required to create everything from scratch, then this part of the CAD plans would not really be necessary, and you could actually start creating the building right in Max from conceptual stage onwards. But since we're doing a workflow which is slightly more architectural, we will assume that there will be an architectural set of drawings coming towards your side of things. So I'm going to go across to the design plan now, and we're just going to flip across. So this would be a simplified version of the design plans. Now, an architect would generally give you very complex plans that have tons of information, lots of drawings, lines, hundreds of layers that wouldn't really be understandable. Now, part of this tutorial would have been to show you how to reduce all of that, but since I can't invent a complex set of drawings for this project, I'm going to show you this as being the final result and just explain to you what are the basic elements and the layering that you can use to help you create the building very quickly in 3ds Max later. So the first thing we want to do is you want to make sure that you bring the building into the right place on your set of drawings. Now what we can do is we can just start by copying and press Ctrl-Shift-C, and then we can click on a base point that we know is the same in the existing set of drawings. Now fortunately here we have this little pier that we can use this corner of, and we're going to use that as our base point. So we click on that corner right there. Then we can go across into our other drawing by pressing Ctrl-Tab, and we can zoom in to where we want that to be. Now if we press Ctrl-V, you'll see that the building will come in, and we can select that same point, and it'll come in exactly where we need it. So the reason why we do this is because this plan here that we generated earlier that has this common base point of 0, 0, 0 in that corner, we basically want these drawings to come into 3D Max in the right place. We don't really want to try and align it manually. We just want things to kind of snap in exactly where they should be. It's very easy to get that accuracy correct before you even go into Max. So if I go and turn off all these other layers that we don't need now, that's existing buildings, contours, grid base, ocean roads, etc., and we're left with only this new project. We can save that out as a new file. We can say save as. We can call this the Site and Design Plan 01. Now these files I'll provide for you, the design plan and the site plan. You'll have that in the working file folder. We're going to save that out, and we're just going to have a look right now as to what these plans consist of. Now the layering, as you've seen, is reduced to its absolute minimum. I generally like to keep one layer for the entire elevation, one layer for the grid setup lines, and then perhaps 1 or 2 or 3 layers for the plan, so that you can easily see the different elements in their heights. So I'm going to start by just turning everything off and leaving one of them on, being the hardscape. So this is the lowermost layer that we're going to be working with. So you'll see here that the hardscape just shows the basic outline of what we're going to be modeling, and this is going to be the new hardscape with a couple of piers here. This is going to be a nature sort of path, and here's going to be some lawns with some hardscape here in the middle, quite organic, and let's just say that this is what the architects gave us to work with. So then if we turn on the new plan, the new plan will be the basic 3 buildings. Now to better understand that, we need to turn on the elevation. And you can see here what that is showing us. It's showing us here that the outline of this building here is that red square, and that these outlines here show us these 2 curved towers. You'll also see that it shows us the central lift core and a representation of a column grid. Then if we turn on the layer for the podium is sitting above the hardscape. So if we turn off the new plan, you'll see that the podium is the whole section here that has the curved slabs for the parking and for the retail, the 2 levels of retail that we have here below. Then the highest most layer is the stadium, and we'll turn off the podium for that. And this stadium is the plan view of the soccer field as well as the seating that we have at about 160 meters. Now, let's just say that the architects have given us this design. We obviously know that this is just a tutorial, so we have to take into account that there are some figurative things here, like putting a soccer field at 160 meters. We know that it wouldn't happen in a real world situation, but heck, I think it's just a hell of a lot of fun to try and do it and see what a visualization of doing that would look like. And I think that is what's going to bring some excitement to this project, is how accurately can you bring across a crazy concept like that and make it look believable to the client and convince people of these ideas, because that is very often what we have to do as artists. It's not just about modeling the city or the building or this, but it's about conveying a message of what would it be like to play soccer at 160 meters above sea level, perched on 3 towers with the most amazing view in the world. Now, it's that emotion that we want to get across, and it's really the core of that message that you want to bring out in your work. So that is what we're going to get trying to get towards. That's going to be our goal. So I'm going to turn on all the layers of all of the new parts to this building, and we're going to, now that we have the correct position, we're going to copy them into a new file, which we're going to call our design plans in the right place. So we're going to press Ctrl-Shift-C, and it's going to say here at the bottom, copy base, specify base point. Now, instead of selecting it on the screen, we're going to type 0, 0, 0 and press enter. And then we're going to create a new plan. And we're going to press Ctrl-V, and again 0, 0, 0. What this will do is it will, if you double click on your middle mouse button, it'll zoom to extents. It will show you, it'll basically copy paste your plans exactly into the same reference based on your 0 point in your plan. So now we have a simplified version of what we're going to work with in 3D Max, and we can now go and save this out. This is going to be our design plan, except that this one is called aligned. And we can save that. And that is it for this video. In the next one, we will have a look at how we can bring this into 3D Max and start setting up our basic geometry for the mass forms. And what we covered in this one is just how to take the architectural drawing and how to align it, or at least position it correctly according to our existing contour and site model, which is in the same alignment as our model in 3D Max at the moment. And once you get that done, you pretty much know that you are set and you are ready to start your modeling.